Hey there, welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. So we've got another week before the official start of summer and the official start of our patriotic holidays here. So let's make one more patriotic wreath. This is something that I got inspired by seeing something at either TJ Maxx or HomeGoods. So you can have them to blame for this video. But anyways, stay till the end because I do kind of change my mind, guys. You know me, I like to change my mind. So let's get started. Well, hey there. So welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. As you know what this looks like. You know the finished product before I do. But I had the inspiration. I was at a local like TJ Maxx the other day, or HomeGoods, whatever you want to call them in your area. But they always have these patriotic wreaths, and they're usually made out of straw or something. And I was looking at it and I thought, we could do better. I think that we could do something very similar that will last longer. And I honestly think that a lot of you have this roping in your stash. If you've been making wreaths, if you've been following me for a long time, I've always taught you guys how to use this roping from Hobby Lobby to make centers for your flower wreaths. So I've been doing that for years. But they used to sell navy blue. They don't sell the navy blue anymore. But I was able to find this in the trims and the like over by the upholstery fabrics. And this is a navy blue rope. So this will work just as good. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my frame. And something I tell you guys all the time is I always have a bunch of felt, and I will buy this when it's on sale. I'll buy like 4 yards of it and I'll have it to the side so that when I need it for projects like this, I have it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm just going to trace it out here. So the important thing that I need to kind of remind you of here is that, oops, I just got it on myself. When we cut this out, I'm going to cut it out on the inside. So what I want you to remember is I want to cut it on the inside because I don't want it to go all the way to the edge because we will have stuff there. And honestly, you know, when I'm thinking about this, you could cut the outside of this because the roping is going to give some extra width to this wreath. So I'm thinking one way and doing another, but you'll be good. Just go along the line. I just don't want to make sure that any of this black shows on the wreath, but I'm going to have this in case I need it. I think I'm going to need it, and to put on the back of a wreath. Okay, so as you can see, this is a little bit more maybe rustic American flag wreath. So I ended up not getting a white paint, but something that looked more similar to this roping because this is more of a cream. So I also got these little stars. They have this at Hobby Lobby. Let me show you here, the packaging. They come in a package of this, and of course they have 4 of these little stars. They sit on top. I've already taken them out. But they are $1.99 a pack. Okay, so you get 12 pieces all together. You could use the bigger ones if you want. It's really up to you. So this is the first option, okay? If you've got little stars at home, use those. They also have this option, and this option I might keep natural. I'm a little impatient, and so painting the stars just like, okay, Julie, you got to paint something. As you know, I don't paint that much when it comes to my crafting, but I know I should. I should be patient and do it. Most of the time it's because I live in Michigan, and when it's cold out, it's hard to make anything, you know, dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint these flat ones. I'm going to leave these natural. These were in the back of the store with all the woodworking products. And then when it comes time to put it together, we'll decide which ones we like best. Okay, so it's pretty much going to be like, let's see. Okay, so let's talk about the frame that we're using. This is really up to you. I wanted a more substantial frame because I just wanted that wider look. So if you wanted a smaller frame like this one, you could do this one. This one came from the Dollar Tree, but you can find stuff like this at Hobby Lobby as well. So either way, you can make a small one, you can make a big one, whatever you want to do, be creative. That's what I always tell you, right? So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on this frame. This is a 2" by 15 and 0.6 inches in diameter. So you're looking at 2 inches and then 15, almost 16 inches in diameter. I still think that would be a nice size for a front door. So we're going to start with the red first, and basically we're going to unwind it here. And basically what I'm hoping to do is have like my blue here, okay, kind of like a quarter, and then red and white stripes. Now we could do it several ways, all right? You could take it and you could go like this, all right, and do red, white, and go all the way around it, okay? You could do that. Or what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap it like so. I wanna kind of go around the whole wreath as a whole, okay? So you're gonna need at least 2 rolls of each. If you don't wanna do that and you wanna cut it each time to save yourself on materials, you can do that. You're just gonna need a lot of these pens and some glue, okay? So what we're gonna do is let's get started. Let's just find a spot, and we are just going to use that pen that's already there. Actually, let's take that out. I prefer these flat pens. They're called T pens because they have a little bit of, the quilters use it. So if you're a quilter and you know what this is, that's the kind of pen that I like to use. You can get these on Hobby Lobby and Amazon as well. So I'm going to just add a little bit of glue to kind of get us started. We don't need a lot of glue for this, okay? But it's just going to kind of hold it there. All right, so I'm going to let that hold and then I'll be right back. Okay, so that's set up. I also like to use the Gorilla Glue. When you see any of the supplies that I use, you can check them out in my Amazon shop. The link is in the description box below, okay? If you want, you can add a little bit of glue as we go. I hope this doesn't make too much sound here, guys, but I'm gonna pull this pretty tight. I'm gonna add just a little bit of glue on the top here. I don't feel like we're gonna need that much glue, and I'm just gonna kind of hold that down. I'm going to put this inside here, and then you're just going to wrap it around your frame, okay? And make sure, here's the key, guys, make sure you keep it really close together, all right? And let's see how many we want to do. I'm keeping it really nice and tight, and I'm keeping these close together. Now, if you want and you're worried about that, you can flip it over and just simply add another pen, okay? If you're worried about those moving, this is what I would do. Pretty simple, huh? Not a lot of glue, which is kind of nice for a change, right? So I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to keep it really close. So we've got 4, let's do a 5th one, and then let's be done with that one, okay? Do this one, keep it close. That one's not as close because I can see the green, and I don't want to see that green. All right, if you have to put this on its side a little bit, that's okay. And that's what I mean by this roping on its side. You know what? I'm going to add a little bit of glue right here as we kind of go. All right, then I'm going to flip this over. All right, I'm going to take a piece and go in this one. All right, so let me show you. Let me make sure it looks good. Make sure it's nice and tight here. All right. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. I'm going to put this down first. I'm going to put some glue and then put a pen down, and then I'm going to cut it. All right, so this is one of my favorite tools, and I've shared this with you guys before. This is like a heavy duty cutter, and when it comes to roping like this, when I use it to make flower centers or anything, this helps my hands immensely. So do I have these in my Amazon shop? Yes. There's like 3 or 4 different versions. They all have the same mechanism, and it's this razor blade here that is so important. And you know, it just makes the world a difference, because I'm going to show you when I go to cut this. Oops, my pen came out. It's okay. It cuts so easy. And I'm going to put that pen right back in there. Let's add another one on this side too. All right, that's why I like these flat pins. All right, so that's our first, oops, I'm getting a little bit of green foam, but we can get that when we're done. So now we're gonna start with the white, okay? And let's see, I have a lot of this that are like half gone because I've used them for centers. So I'm gonna use some of this up, and so that way I'm not wasting it. All right, so I unraveled that. Let's turn this on the back here. And where it ends, we are going to start it again. So let's take some glue and just simply take one of these pens, and we're just gonna start it where we ended it. Okay, I might actually put 2 pens in there. That's good. And we're just gonna go around it 5 times. Hopefully we'll have enough with this. We'll see. 1. Okay, I'm gonna keep it pretty close here. Actually, I'm gonna try to turn it on its side just a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna kind of keep going. Some glue under all of that, and then I'm gonna add some more pens. So basically that is how you do it. You're gonna do, oops, that is not the right kind of pen. It doesn't have a head on it. We're just gonna do it until we have about 1/4, or if we run out of the red and white and we have a little bit more than the 1/4, we're just gonna go with it and start adding our blue. So I'm gonna just kind of add a few pens here. Okay, so we're back. And you see I have a little bit of a mess here because I filmed part of this already and was wrapping this around thinking I was going to have enough. I bought 6 yards of this today. Guess what? It wasn't enough. So yeah, I kind of wasted, oh my goodness, $3 times 6, $18. But guys, this is what happens when you craft. So let me make the mistakes. Let me pay the price before you do. Okay, so again, you cannot get this color at Hobby Lobby anymore. Okay, they just have the black, the red, the natural, and like the ivory color. Okay, so this was 6 yards. 6 yards was not going to be enough, so I would say 8 yards would probably be a better guesstimate. But you could always cut these, and let me just kind of show you what you could do, and this would save some time and some materials. You could cut them on about that much and then just pin them on the back like so. Okay, and that might give you, as you can see, mine is kind of going at an angle. It might give you a little bit different look, but that's okay. It's your wreath, so let's make it beautiful. Okay, so let's get this back on track. Sometimes you're gonna spend money and waste money, and that's okay. It's crafting. So I'm gonna get started with what I have. Just a little bit of this. I'll never be able to make one of these sensors again, but that's okay. It really is. So I'm pretty much going to do the same thing, but we're just going to keep going with this. Let's turn it over. Put some glue down. Let's try this again. As you can see, I've kind of ripped it all apart, but that's all right. We'll make it work. And if you have some of this on hand, then use some of this. And you're just going to make it go around. And again, I think I said in the last clip that you could do yarn with this. I wouldn't do yarn for outside, but if you had like a door that you could put it in between, like I have a storm door, and if it was enough room, you could make that work. So I'm just going to kind of hold this down, and I'm going to just keep going around until we get to the end there. But I hope that this, kind of inspires you to go to the store. This next Sunday is Memorial Day, and we remember, if you're watching outside of our country, we remember those who've given their lives in service to our country on Memorial Day weekend. And so I just want to remember those who have given all. And I have someone in my family who has given all, and we honor him and his sacrifice. and we pray for his family. And I pray and hope that your family is doing well as well. And we thank you for your loved one's service. So I always kind of like to add that in there because that's what Memorial Day is about. We don't want to lose sight of that. So I'm going to keep wrapping this. And remember, if you look at the back of this, this does not look perfect at all, guys. It totally does not. You could, instead of wrapping this, if like I showed you, you could cut pieces and then just pin them to the back if you want a more streamlined look. That's not kind of what I'm going for. And you just got to be careful here on the sides because they do like to separate. Oh, push that glue stick in. So I like to put a little bit of glue there. And then I kind of put it on its side and then I just kind of hold it in. We just kind of wait for a moment. And then we're just going to keep wrapping this baby until it's all the way wrapped. Now this is going to be a pretty heavy duty wreath, guys. This is pretty hefty. So know that this isn't going to be that lightweight, but I think it's going to be beautiful when it's done. I really do. I can't wait. Okay, so we find ourselves in a position here that this isn't going to work. So how do we fix this? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to straighten this part out. So how am I going to do that? All right, so basically what I want to do is we're going to add pieces to the back of our wreath here. All right, we're going to start here and we're going to make cuts and we're going to try to make this flow better. All right, again, I'm not perfect. I can't make anything perfect. And I don't want you to think that this is how crafting is, because it's not. So I'm going to cut this side off here. So I know we're going to go there. Let's flip it over. All right, that's good, that's good. So we're going to add some glue. I'm actually going to glue that a little bit on top here of this blue. And you know what? I might need longer pens. Hold on. I have some longer pens here. I'm going to grab the white ones so that they'll go all the way down. Come on. I don't want to burn myself. I would prefer not to do that. Okay, there we go. We got it to go down. All right. I'm going to add a little bit more glue there. Maybe add another pen, but that's all right. This is the way we learn. How can we fix the problem, okay? So I'm going to turn it over. We're going to put a little bit of glue, and we're going to hold it in place. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to cut another piece, and we're going to start at the same point. I'm going to kind of move this in. So I'm going to hold that down, take my piece here, and I'm going to go over top of that one spot that we were already at. So there's one. We're going to go over top of it. I'm going to put some more glue. And then I'm going to bring it up. We're going to kind of squish these in a little bit. All right. And I'm going to put it right here on top of that. All right. Whoops. Let's see if this is enough. Yeah. All right, so we want to make sure we're gonna kind of go over top of it. Okay, do you see what I'm doing here? We're going over top, and as we do that, we're lessening that sharp curve. All right, again, I'm gonna actually come in a little bit more. Getting closer. Let's pull this over. Again, I'm getting green stuff on it, but we'll take a little lint brush here in a minute and we'll help get rid of that. So I'm going to cut this part. I could probably have cut that a little bit more and made that go down even further. But again, if you remember at the beginning of this, we cut that felt, and that felt is going to cover everything that we see here. Okay. Yeah, that should take care of one more thing here. I think we're gonna, let's see here. We're getting there. We're gonna just kind of, yep, we're getting there. So we're just kind of double layering. But here's the beauty of this. We're going to take, and I think that we're going to take these little stars and we're going to put them all over, and then that's going to kind of camouflage our little hiccup here. All right. If I was to do this again, I would not wrap it, but I would take strips and I would just literally go around it and just put it. I'll show you how in a moment. I know I'm not being very clear here, and I want to be really clear. That's my whole goal on my channel here, is that I'm really super clear. So you're just going to kind of work with this, guys. That's all you're going to do. And I know I'm calling you guys, and probably 95% of you are women. So for the few guys that are out there, hi guys. And I know that most of you are women, but you know what I mean. I say it with all love. Okay, so we're going to do that. Yep, that's looking good. So that's looking better, right? And then we could probably take it and just use the roll again, using that. It's not going to hold. Okay, a little bit more. And what I want to do is I want to cut a piece that's little, that can go underneath here and go like that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue right here. And this is going to be our solution to how we're going to end this, all right? And you're just going to kind of poke that in. But if I had to do this over again, I probably wouldn't wrap it, unless it was like, you were going at a better angle. Mine kind of got away from me, and that happens. It's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and we're going to go over top of that with a little bit of glue. Take out the pen here. We're going to go over top of that, okay? And then I'm going to hold that down. Add a little bit of glue. And again, yes, I love my cordless glue gun, and you can get that on Amazon. And you could even move this around over here to kind of hide some of that kind of lumpiness there. All right, so this is the end. So we're just going to bring it over here. And I think we'll make that work, guys. We're just going to kind of let everything lay on the side. Hold on. I'm going to pull it really tight. I'm going to add some glue. Cut it. You need to be very careful if you get these. Oh my goodness, be so ever so careful with them, please, because you really could hurt yourself. So it's very important. I'm going to add that down there. All right. So let me get my workstation cleaned up, get all the little foam pieces off, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I just got off most of the lint, but basically I just take a lint brush. I'm going to take off the piece here. Okay, it's super duper sticky. Get it over there. And then I just kind of find where I need it to go. And then I just pull off, and it pretty much brings up any of those little, you know, when you have this dark color, sometimes you can see like the little white pieces from the other strands or whatnot. So I'm just going to do that. And so that takes care of it. Okay. So let's work on first the hanger for this wreath. I'm going to take this burlap ribbon that I have. Let me cut off a better piece of it here. There we go. It's seen better days. And basically, I just want it to kind of go like this so that it can kind of hang on the door like that. So let's see. I think that's more than enough. I'll tell you how long this is. This is about 20 to 21 inches, okay? So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to make a cross there, all right? Decide what you want as your front of your wreath. I think I want it, this is where I want it to hang, so I want to hang it like so, okay? So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to get my glue out here, all right? Actually, I think I'm going to make this a little bit shorter. I'm going to take about 3 inches off. I think that works a little bit better. And you're just going to find the spot you want, okay? So we're going to add some glue, and we're going to add some pens. All right. All right, there we go. Might want to put a little bit of glue there just to make sure. Okay, so at the beginning, you heard me say, oh, don't make this too wide because it might show. You can make it a little wider, guys, because look at how much I have, okay? So this isn't going to cover, I've got a string here of glue, all of my little imperfections of the back, but it's going to cover most of it, and that's what we need, okay? So I'm going to start by just putting some glue down, and then you can even add a few pens if you want, but I'm just going to try to do my best and use the glue. So I'm just going to glue all of this around, and then we'll put our stars on. Okay, so if you've made it this far, we have our wreath finished. Is it perfect? No. And if you stay till the end, I'm going to tell you what I think I should have done that I think would make a better wreath, okay? So hold on till the end. When I'm done, I'll show you what I think. But we have our hanger there. We have the back all taken care of. Now it's time for the stars. Now, if you wanted to use these bigger stars, this is what it would look like, okay? So really, in the comments, let me know. Do you like the bigger stars or do you like the smaller stars? It's really kind of up to you and your preference. But the more I do this, the more I kind of like these little natural looking, more kind of Americana stars. So I'm going to use those, guys. I'm not going to paint them. I'm going to keep them the natural look because I think it still gives a really good, oops, I just dropped one. I just think it really is going to make a really pretty look on our wreath, okay? So I have 20. I bought these back in the wood section. So I'm going to stand up here actually so that I can see a better view. So you're pretty much just going to add the stars wherever you want. I'm going to add just a little dollop of glue, and then I'm going to hold it down. All right. Oops, I think I need more glue than that. So a little bit more glue, and then I'm going to hold it down. This might take a few minutes, so be patient. Okay, I'm going to show you the finished product in a moment, but let me show you what I would have done differently after making this whole wreath. And sometimes, guys, that happens. So I would measure out how much I would need. So I need about that much. So you would need about 10-inch strips, okay? And what's nice about this tool, it has a safety mechanism and you can close it. So let's cut a couple of these so I can kind of show you. Just kind of guesstimating here. Okay. And what I would do is I would have cut them and had them meet. So maybe more like 9-inch strips. Okay. And then I would have added glue. I'm not going to add glue to this base because I want to use it probably for a future product or project. Okay. And I would have just done this. Okay. All right. You can do what I did. You know, what I did gives you a little bit closer stitch, but you are going to have a few problems. Okay. So that's what I would do differently. And then, so I think it's beautiful. I love it. I'm going to hang it on my door. I think this is the perfect Memorial Day. If you haven't made something yet and you haven't made the American flower, if you haven't made the American flag cross, give this a try. I think this is a different look. Maybe the flowers aren't your thing, but this is a little bit more your thing. So I think it turned out pretty. I think you could use roping. If you had red rope, white rope, navy blue rope, you could use so many different things. Don't limit yourself just to this. You could use yarn. You could use, what is that called? That we did it last week. Nope, I did it on my Amazon Live. So if you've not seen me on my Amazon Live, I did a cording. It's like nylon cording, like a macrame. Hobby Lobby has all sorts of stuff for that, and I know that other places do as well. This is not sponsored by Hobby Lobby. I know I have a lot of content by them, but this video is not sponsored by them, okay? This is just me coming up with an idea, and I wanted to share it with you. I hope you love it. I love it. It's going on my front door. So if you made it till the end, make sure to leave me either an American flag or a star. All right, so until next time, we'll see you in Julie's Wreath Boutique. Bye-bye.